men laying with men and women laying with women. That's all the way in Romans 1, God prophesies it. And number 3, the punishment of Romans 1, he says, our God will hand them over to a debased mind, an insane mind, a crazy mind. And that's what you're seeing now. When you reject the truth, that's what you get. And until America and Australia and the West bring the Bible back in schools, bring the 10 Commandments back, bring Jesus back in the public square, your country is going to go more crazy. We need Jesus back in the country.
And our job, like as preachers, pastors, is to sniff the devil while he's still far away. And what we've seen prophetically is if you adopt this logic of love is love, if I feel love towards what God has said is out of bounds and is immoral, so long as I feel love, so long as it's my orientation, it makes what God has deemed immoral, it makes it okay. This is a very, very slippery slope all the way down to all forms of wickedness and degeneracy. Because what about the 50-year-old man who feels love towards the child? It's the same premises. It's the same. It doesn't matter what the Bible says. It doesn't matter what God says is moral and immoral. It doesn't matter that God created marriage, therefore only God gets to define marriage. It doesn't matter what the Bible says. It doesn't matter what God says. So long as I feel love towards that which God deemed immoral, it makes it okay. It justifies it. That same premise can be used to justify anything. It's a can of worms. You can justify pedophilia. You can justify necrophilia. It's a can of worms. And people might say, well, that's extreme. Well, if you cross the first bridge, the second is inevitable because the second is based on the same premises as the first. And you're already seeing it in culture. People always make the mistake of thinking that morality is common sense. Just read history. For a long time, people thought that it was totally okay, that slavery was totally okay, to see a group of people as subservient, to see a group of people as not deemed worthy of human dignity and basic, this is to believe that morality is common sense, to believe that that's not true. And so we're already starting to see, we talk about this, it's not huge in our culture now, this pedophilia, but we're already seeing it. Have you seen how they've changed? It's now no longer called pedophile. They're trying to change the language. It always starts with semantics. Now they're trying to call it minor attracted persons. And so as pastors, our job is, 50 years ago, people told pastors, stop preaching about homosexuality, stop talking about it. This kind of matter shouldn't be spoken about in churches. Well, look where we are today. Young people are cutting their body parts. Young people are so confused. Young people are now the victims of preachers not preaching. And I believe if we don't preach now about minor attracted persons and the demonic ideology that as Islam begins to rise, people will say, well, age is just a number. If we don't preach about this now, prophetically, it will come into our culture.
So here's a question now. Randy Fine, I don't know if you guys know who Randy Fine is. If you don't, he is somebody who was a politician in America. Rob, if you want to pull this up, he's a U.S. representative. He tweeted something today. And, not today, maybe it was yesterday, and it was around what the solution is with Muslims, okay? What should America do? Now, this guy is going, some are calling it extreme. Some people are saying, I actually agree with what he's saying. Rob, I don't know if you have the tweet or not. He said a Muslim immigrant burning Holocaust survivor alive in Colorado wasn't enough. A Muslim immigrant executing National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C. wasn't enough. Rob, if it's one of the tweets from 3 days, there you go. Muslim immigrants attacking and killing non-Muslims in Australia wasn't enough. 9/11 wasn't enough. October 7 wasn't enough. Now the FBI announced they have arrested 5 Muslim terrorists who were planning Muslim terror attacks on New Year's Eve in Los Angeles and New Orleans. This has to stop. Diversity is not our strength. Diversity has become suicidal. It is time for Muslim travel ban, radical deportation of all mainstream Muslim legal and illegal,
Well, they're legal.
and illegal, and citizenship revocations wherever possible. Mainstream Muslim have declared war on us. The least we can do is kick them the hell out of America. Do you agree?
Look, this is a tough one. This is a very tough one because it seems Islamophobic, it seems racist, and I think 2 things. Number one, from the top, we got to stop the immigration. We really got to fix that problem. And Donald Trump is really doing great with that. He just put a pause on 10 countries or maybe more, especially from the Middle East. So that's very, very important. Let's at least put a pause on it so we can figure out what's actually happening. And Donald Trump did say that a few years ago. He said, let's put a pause on Muslim immigration to figure out what's happening. And if they don't do that, you're going to end up like the UK. The UK kept going and going and going and going and going. And they're like, how long can we play this game? How long can we play this immigration game? And they said, let's give it another year. Let's give it another year. And now they've committed suicide. Now the rape cases are high. Now the terrorist attacks are high. And it's conquered. The UK, Europe, where revivals came, John Wesley, Charles Wesley, all the revivalists, most revivalists that started in Europe are now dead because we allowed immigration in without assimilation. Yeah. And this is what I think. The people on the floor here, they need to understand, every immigrant in this country, they got to understand, I think if you burn the American flag, you are no longer allowed in this country. It might sound extreme, but if you burn the American flag, you're an enemy of America. If you shout death to America, you're an enemy to America. If you hate the Constitution, and Muslims hate the Constitution. Muslims hate the Constitution. The whole foundation and cornerstone of the West is freedom. We believe in freedom. What is freedom? We believe in freedom of religion. Muslims don't believe in freedom of religion. They believe you either submit to Allah or you die. Yeah. Or pay jizya tax. We believe in freedom of speech. Do Muslims believe in freedom of speech? No, they don't. If you speak against Muhammad, in fact, there's a verse in the Quran, it says if you critique the Prophet Muhammad, you get killed. They don't believe in freedom of speech. They don't believe in freedom to protest. In Hamas, after the ceasefire, Hamas found Palestinians that protested against them. What they do? They shot them dead. There's no freedom. Islam is incompatible with the West. And that statement that he's saying, it might sound racist and Islamophobic, but I kind of get the direction he's talking about, because Raymond Ibrahim, I'm not sure if you've heard about him. Raymond Ibrahim is a historian, amazing historian, Islamic historian, and he said a quote. He said Muslim immigration, it's like bringing a lion and putting him in a cage with lambs. Yeah. Islamic immigration is like bringing a lion and putting them in a cage with lambs. And all of a sudden, one lion turns on the lambs and kills 100 lambs. And we blame the lion. Well, it's not the lion's fault. The lion is behaving like a lion. The lion is always meant to have enemies. The lion has always been the king of the jungle. The lion has always been a ferocious animal, and he kills for a living. And this is the thing. Lions will always do what lions do. And same as Muslims. Muslims will always do what Muslims do. And when you bring one Muslim in the West, they will do what they do best. They will hate the infidel. They will destroy the country. They will bring Sharia law. They will bring Sharia law. And they want it in Michigan. They want it in Texas with Epic City. So I think we need to pause on mass migration. And the Muslims in this country need to feel the fear of the government. They need to feel the fear of God and back off and understand this is a Christian country. Back off from the call to prayer in Michigan. Back off from, there's freedom of religion, but do it in your mosque. Go in your mosque, preach whatever you want to preach, and we're going to monitor you because they are preaching hate. We really do got to monitor the mosque. But they got to really back off. The Muslims in this country got to be humble enough to understand a Christian country allowed you here.
And I can already hear like the Christian audience being like, wow, you call yourself pastors? That's not very Christ-like of you. That's not very loving of you to say, we have to, bring stricter immigration laws. Actually, this is biblical. Deuteronomy 28, this is actually God's warning to the people of God. Deuteronomy 28, God says to the people, because you have